Hi guys, I'm Shmi, and today is rather exciting because it is time to talk about what happens next in the order process for the Ford GT. So I made the announcement about 3 months ago that I'd been lucky enough to get an allocation for the new car, but that was about all I knew. I didn't have any more information, and so I haven't really done a very good job of answering your questions because, quite frankly, I'm afraid I didn't know. But I have just received an email from Ford with the welcome guide that finally tells me everything. So today I'm going to show you through that, or as much as I can, because of course a lot of it is kind of private information for Ford GT customers, but this is the process for those lucky enough to be part of the first 500 Ford GTs, delivering somewhere over the next 2 years. So the car itself is the supercar of the moment. It is very, very exciting, and everything that ever comes up to do with it gets me rather buzzing. So naturally, when this email dropped into my mailbox, I had a little jump around and read it about 10 times. But I'm going to show you through and let you know a little bit more about what is happening next in the Ford GT order process. So let's get started with, I guess, the very front of the PDF, which is the Ford GT logo. You've probably seen it before, but it's pretty cool, modern sort of update to the GT logo. All part of the rebranding, relaunch, I suppose, of Ford Performance. Also my Focus RS, which has nothing to do with Ford themselves. Bought it and love it. But this tells us a lot. So let's get started. Straight on, we've got a nice side profile. That was the launch car at the Detroit Auto Show. So welcome. This guide provides a comprehensive view of the entire Ford GT experience. From receiving your acceptance letter, that's what I got in August, through the order and build processes, which is obviously what's going to be starting in the near future, through to delivery, to ensure that your journey to ownership is both memorable and rewarding. Well, I can tell you so far, this journey is insanely memorable. It's completely unlike anything else. Just the excitement level, it's hard to explain. It's completely different. We'll come through. It's quite glossy. You've got sort of cutaways here of the Ford GT looking at the interior, so you can see the seats that are bolted down, or part of the tub. They're not even individual seats. It's got the whole sort of movable pedal box, race style. I can't wait for this thing. We don't even know the performance figures yet. We don't know how many horsepower it's got. We don't know what the weight of it is. We don't know how quickly it's going to go 0 to 62 or what lap times it's going to set. But I can't wait to find out, and I expect it's going to be really rather impressive. And I'm here, we've got a quote from Raj Nair. The GT has always represented something special to Ford. It's not just about the heritage, it's about the innovation that we stand for as a company now. And I mean, the car's got the 3.5 litre twin-turbo V6 EcoBoost engine. It's got presumably quite a lot of technology we're going to be finding more about. It's got lots of active aero, race mode, the whole car sits down on the ground. All of this, obviously, I'm going to show you when I have my car. In fact, I might have an opportunity to have a look at one before. Fingers crossed, please Ford. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. Now it goes on next to talk about the concierge service, so I can't tell you everything about that, but this whole process is going to be run through the Ford GT Concierge. So someone such as myself has a contact on the other end of a phone, and they will be the lead sort of point of contact discussing options, all the specification, extended range colours, when it's going to go through, all sort of questions, additional ownership experiences, so invitations to things, events that are going on. Ultimately, of course, keeping us updated with the build process and the delivery, because it's got to come from Canada where it's built over. So that whole sort of process is managed through a concierge, which I'm looking forward to sort of making contact and finding out who my contact's going to be and seeing what happens from there. Moving on, we get to the GT dealers. Now, this was a question I had been wondering about, because presumably the UK only has, let's say, 10, 20, maybe 30 allocations for cars, which doesn't exactly mean every single Ford dealer is going to ever see one or know how they work. And this sort of confirms that certain Ford dealers will get Ford GT certification. So those will be the ones who are equipped and trained to manage this unique product, as they refer to it. So my appointed Ford GT dealer, Ford Store, will support the ownership experience. So presumably when I got back to them after the initial sort of allocation with my address and confirmation of where I want to receive the car, which of course for me is London, they'll have translated that into working out which dealers are the ones that are going to handle the cars. I think there's probably going to be one in or around London, I would expect. So that's going to explain how that process is going to work. We move on there to a look at the original models, the clay models they make of the cars when they're working on the shapes and creating them. I think that's quite cool. It's a celebration of material, of performance, of iconic style, of heritage, of the future of the company. And I think that pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? The Ford GT is really a halo product. We're going to be talking about 1,000 in total of these when they've made them all. And the performance figures, we don't know them, but presumably they're going to be quite impressive. So we'll move on through. This is an interesting slide, I think. It tells a little bit more about when the car's coming. You've been selected as one of the few to have the opportunity to purchase a Ford GT. Every owner is equally important to Ford Motor Company and the Ford GT Concierge team. As production begins in late 2016, vehicles will be produced at a frequency of approximately 1 per day, with vehicle deliveries taking place from December 2016. So the first delivered cars, December 2016, through to October 2020. So we've got a build run of 2 months shy of 4 years. Several considerations are taken into account when assigning order windows. So the order window is what I don't yet know, but that will be when I get told when my car is coming through. So balanced global geographical distribution. So I guess they're going to be sort of sent around the world, some to America, Europe, Middle East, and then round in circles so that they sort of go out quite evenly. Seasonal weather considerations, I guess they're not going to deliver them in Canada in the middle of winter. Maybe not in Dubai in the middle of summer. We'll see. Local approval for sale, I guess they've got to get all the boxes ticked and certificate of conformities and the like. Vehicle order configurations, that's quite normal. There might be some parts that have to go on later run cars, some that are made in batches. Transportation groupings, the car has to come from America. I don't know if it goes on a plane or a boat, presumably a boat, so they'll send batches over together. And then local market input, I guess other sort of factors that might influence when the car comes through. So there's a lot to wait and see. Now the next slides start talking about the production timetable. So let me show you this one, the start. How this is going to work. So you've got the order phase, which breaks down to preparation, completion and finalization. That of course is running over the spec. The build phase, build preparation, then build itself, and then the delivery phase of delivery and continued ongoing support. So I think this is quite a nice sort of graphic showing us that it will take about 9 months from when the order window notification period starts through to when the car arrives, of which I guess the bulk of that is the ordering itself before the build and delivery, because it takes a while to get all of the different components you've selected for your car into one place. So I'm just going to spin it round to talk to you about what happens on the next slides. Oh no, I tell a lie, we've got one more I can show you here. Again with the clay model, with Mark Fields. We're passionate about innovation, creating vehicles that make people's hearts pound. Well Ford, this vehicle makes my heart pound, I can tell you that without a shadow of a doubt. The detail is just phenomenal. And I apologise for the noise in the background. It seems some builders have just started working. Wonderful timing. So, what happens next? This is the one I can't necessarily show you, but I can start telling you some key highlights. This is about the preparation. Excuse me for reading, just while I try and take it all in quickly. One thing that's cool, there's going to be the Ford GT ordering kits. So when your window starts, they're going to send out samples of paints and interior trims in a kit. So I'm going to show you that, and I imagine it's going to be really rather cool. If you go for the extended exterior paint palette, you'll get obviously your samples. I've got some ideas in my mind about my specification. I definitely want to have stripes on it, but I'm going to wait and see what the full options are really that you can do, because the configurator is already online and there's a lot of cool stuff you can play with in there. Talks a little bit about how you're going to fund the car, how you're going to pay for it, and then where you're going to take delivery of it. That's approximately 1.5 months for the order preparation, choosing your options. Then you have 2 months to configure and order your Ford GT, which is a discussion you'll have with your GT Concierge. You'll be going backwards and forwards, and that's when they're going to tell us the price of the car. So I'm expecting it's going to be somewhere between $400, $450, maybe $500,000 for the car with specification. I believe or assume that I'm going to have to pay for it in dollars, which if you follow the economy in any way, shape or form is not so good for me right now, because the dollar at the time of filming this is 1.22 to the pound, which is horrible. So it's going to cost me a lot of money and it's going to make the car more expensive than the 675 LT. But again, it'll be interesting to see how it compares with that. But it's rather exciting, so I'll make do. Then it's order finalization, a month to sort of sign everything off. So if you've gone for custom colors to get the boxes signed, and it's at this point that you have to put down a deposit for the car. So I was wondering when that was going to be and how it was going to work. And I suppose this might be a bit surprising. They've asked for a 50% deposit of the value of the car at your chosen specification at the order finalization stage. So about 6 months before you take delivery of it. So let's assume roughly $250,000 6 months before the car. So not sure how I'm going to work that out with my garage yet, but I'll come up with something because it's worth it. And that's when the order then gets frozen. So we can move on. I can spin this back round now. We're taking everything that is great at Ford Motor Company and we're putting it into this machine. And I think that pretty much sums up how it looks. I mean, the car has been worked on extensively. I can only imagine there's been a very big budget towards making this proper supercar. So a little bit more information about delivery, how the GT Concierge will come with me through the whole process, and then I'll have a delivery specialist who will join us, and presumably he'll be on video with us at some point in the future to show the handover of the car. It's built over 2 weeks. I'm asking Ford in every possible way that when my car is in build, if I can please go to Canada and see some of it, because I would love to be sharing as much of that as possible with you. And then they'll notify me when all the inspections have happened and it's ready for transport. So that's when I'll find out when it's going to be coming over to the UK. Again, we've got the Detroit launch performance blue spec there, but rather stealthed out with the tinted lights. Just looks like a beast, doesn't it? I mean, everyone talks about the Angry Birds pig face in the back, but it's mega. And then you've got this rising rear wing, the aero wing, that's an air brake, as well as when it goes into race mode and the whole car's down on its arches and the tyres are like right up in the arches, the wings raised a little bit. But I mean, one of the coolest bits is that sort of gap through where you've got the aero, that it's... What is this thing? Is it a car? I don't even know. It's pretty mega. Then a bit more information about delivery, how it's going to work at my dealership, and making sure I'm happy with it. I'll receive a delivery kit, not quite sure what that means, but I think there's going to be a lot of exciting stuff that happens along the way, and we've got one more shot there that's quite nice with a nice quote from Bill Ford. We're back at Le Mans, and we're back with a supercar. This is a proper supercar. That benchmark is always moving. What defines a supercar? Power, looks, exclusivity, value. So many factors that change over time. Excuse me. A little bit more information about the concierge service and about ongoing servicing, making sure the car is run. But let me bring you onto the penultimate slide here. Have a quick read of it. From the outset, the new Ford GT was intended to deliver the very best Ford Motor Company has to offer through brilliant design, purposeful use of materials, the carbon fibre and the like, and innovative technologies. And on the 50th anniversary of its greatest road racing victory, the Ford GT had the privilege of sitting atop the podium once again, beating the best in the world. So that's, if you didn't remember, Ford GT40, 1966, 1, 2, 3. Ford turned up at Le Mans and they won it. They completed the podium. This year, 2016, the 50th anniversary, they returned to Le Mans and the Ford GT came in first place in the GTE Pro class. So a 50th anniversary return win. I was there, shot some cool videos, had an amazing weekend there. Along the way, it has ignited the imagination and passion of the company and its employees, while captivating fans around the globe. That same honesty and purposefulness goes into each hand-built Ford GT, with choices that infuse energy and highlight raw performance. All of the timeless selections will reflect the character of the owner while accentuating the beauty and purposeful design of this ultimate performance machine. As you embark on this extraordinary adventure, remember that it's about the journey and the ride. Soon you will personally experience our pride, passion, and ingenuity in the ultimate expression of everything we do great at Ford. We value your business and look forward to deepening our relationship with you. Thank you for choosing Ford. And I'm getting like a tingle through me just reading that and the excitement for this car. I don't really know how to explain it. So the email that came with that attached said that I'll get notification of when my order window will be in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully, let's say a month, maybe two, I'll know when my car or my 9-month process is going to start. Of course, the first cars are just 2 months away, so maybe they already know and they've already specified it. One more thing I wanted to reveal to you is the number plate that's going to go onto my car. As you probably know, I have all of my SH MEE plates, SH then a number then MEE for my different cars. So 15 is on the McLaren, 14 at the moment is on the Porsche, 10 is on the Ferrari, 13 is on the Focus, 12 is going to be on my Aston GT8, maybe 16 will go on my AMG GTR. For this one, I am really quite proud of, because if you remember what I said earlier about 1966, the Ford GT is going to be SH66 ME to pay tribute to that win in 1966. So this is what it's going to be. And underneath, if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses, Henry Ford. That is, I think, whether he said it or not, I know there's a lot of debate about that. I think the ultimate Ford quote, the one that's associated with everything Ford, and different, of course, to what I've got on my Focus RS. So, 66, that's the plate that's going to go on my Ford GT. But there it is. This is the start of the next part of this chapter, the Ford GT ordering process. We know a little bit more about it now, how it's going to work, some key questions answered, some more, of course, that I haven't been able to share. But I am very, very excited to share this adventure with you guys, the Ford GT. I feel very, very lucky to be in this position. So a big thanks goes to the team, of course, that chose to allocate a car in my direction. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure you guys come along for this ride with me. The journey to the Ford GT. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I probably am as about excited. I can't even talk as excited as I look. That's it for now, though. I'll come back to you as soon as I know any more and about when this car is coming. Thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers.